Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. Today we're reviewing episode 7 of Orange. So, we begin where we left off last episode where Suwa reveals that he has a letter too. And Suwa, of course, has the same type of letter as Naho, where future Suwa is like, I want you to live without regret, and that 10 years in the future you don't have the same regrets as I do. Naho's happy because now she has Suwa's help, and Suwa's like, yay Naho, now I can help you. Their first little mission is to find out when Kakeru's birthday is, because the future Naho and Suwa, like that whole gang, like they found out Kakeru's birthday after it already happened. They figure out Kakeru's birthday, each one of them of their little group bug him and figure out a present to give him. Naho figures out that she wants to get him a cool soccer bag, and Ueda senpai comes and she's all like, no, I'm gonna give him a bag. Ho ho ho! We get some Taka and Azu dream team action. In the manga though, there's a lot more like trash talking happening, and I was like really pumped for that because I'm like, yes, let's go, I want to see this. In the anime, it was still good, not as much trash talking, but like the point was achieved, and I just love at the end how Azu's like, we won! Like, yes, it was a competition, you know, like it was the competition to win Kakeru's heart. And yeah, so they scared off Ueda senpai, so that was good. Takako and Azu end up taking Naho outside, and they're like, we're sorry, like we never helped you, like we know you like Kakeru, like you love him, like don't even lie to us, like we're your friends, we're here for you, talk to us, and we're really sorry that we encouraged Ueda and Kakeru to date, but now we're on your team. And they had like this cute little moment between all three of them, and then we flash to Kakeru's birthday when they have a cute little celebration and they all give their gifts, and we actually see a flash to the future where the future gang is giving all their gifts to Kakeru, and Hagita gives him manga, Azu and Tako give him Taco? Azu and Taka. Have I been saying taco this whole time? Hopefully not, but they give him soccer tickets, Naho gives him like a cool little sports bag, and Suwa gives him a bouquet of flowers, and at first they all make fun of him, and we actually find out that Kakeru had really wanted to do something for Naho, and jokingly, I don't know if they really touch on it as much in the anime as they do in the manga, but pretty much story is Kakeru jokingly was like, flowers, but like if you give them to me, like I'm just gonna give them to Naho. And well, Suwa goes through with it, and well, let's talk about the future part first. Suwa goes and ends up like placing the flowers on like the little table, and then he immediately gives them to Naho, and Naho's like, what? Like, why are you giving me the bouquet? Everyone's like, how do you not know, you know? And like, we didn't want to tell you because we didn't want you to feel any worse about it, but like, Kakeru has always liked you, like he liked you the whole time. And then Naho gets all sad, and then I get all sad, and we have like a little thing with Suwa where we kind of hear Suwa's thoughts, or future Suwa's thoughts, and he talks about how like, yeah, it's gonna suck watching the girl you like fall in love with this other guy, but like you really have to watch over them and make sure that their feelings are expressed and that they know each other's feelings, and pretty much just be like the best wingman possible so that in 10 years time they're still both together smiling. And it's really sad, and like I cried. And every time I talk about Suwa I want to cry because every time I think about his situation it just sucks more and more. But yeah, so we see a little bit more about Suwa, and we kind of feel more about his feels and how much it actually sucks, and that future Suwa regrets not really helping out with them as much. But go back to the past, the present actually, and we see Kakeru give Naho the flowers, and everyone else kind of just like runs off and let them have their little moment, and Kakeru admits his feelings for Naho, and he's like, you don't have to tell me right now, like you don't have to answer me, but I just want to let you know how I feel, and it's all cute. We find out that, well, through Suwa and Naho's letter, that Kakeru actually attempts to commit suicide on the 23rd after seeing some friends from Tokyo and telling them about his mom's death. But either way, his friends laughed and he ended up attempting to commit suicide, and he ended up in the hospital for a couple of days. And Sue and Naho are like, well, like, what do we do? And of course, Sue was like, don't worry, I got this, Naho, like, it's okay. Oh yeah, an important thing before this is we see future Naho and we see some of her feels as well. And we see a little flash to Valentine's Day back when Kakeru was still alive, and Kakeru had actually asked Naho like, hey, are you giving chocolate to anyone? Is it gonna be the guy you like? And Naho says yes, and she doesn't end up actually giving it to Kakeru because she's too scared and she doesn't have enough courage, and the next day is actually the day that Kakeru ends up committing suicide and dying, and Naho just, obviously, future Naho, feels like a lot of regret, and she's like, what could I have done? And all those thoughts and feelings. Oh yeah, since I'm talking about future Naho and future selves, they end up leaving the grandmother's house after the little ceremony and they end up going to Mount Kobo, so I wonder what's there. The end of the episode is very, 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 very emotional, and it pretty much starts with Kakeru and Naho are alone. Kakeru's at the window and he's like, whoosh, and Naho's like, what's that for? And he's like, oh, like, imagine if I could just jump out and be Superman. And they end up talking about his mom, or relating that to his mom, and Kakeru ends up telling Naho about going to see his friends, and Naho's like, no, don't. And Kakeru's like, why? And Sua ends up jumping in and starts talking to Kakeru. What's wrong? Like, obviously you're hurting, like, you need to tell us. And Kakeru's like, I consider you guys like my closest friends, and when I'm with you, I want to be laughing. And Sua counters that with like, we don't want to be laughing if we know like there's something going on with you. Sua just goes straight for it in this scene. Like, he just goes for it, and he straight up asks Kakeru like, have you ever thought about dying? And Kakeru says, well, every day. And it's really sad, and Kakeru expresses his guilt about his mom and how he feels it's his fault. Sua and Kakeru have like the biggest little bromance moment ever, and how Sua's just like, we're here for you, like, you need to tell us, like, we don't want you to just be alone. And they have the cutest little bromance moment ever, and Naho's just standing there and it's awkward, and Naho's like, oh wait, like, I should probably do something too. And then Naho, bless her sweet little heart, is like, Kakeru, like, she's all like, I love you, like, you can't, like, don't leave me, like, I don't want you to go. And sorry, there's a lot of feels right now, my voice is getting higher and higher pitched. Kakeru's making fun of Sua for crying, and then Naho's just ends it with being like, I've always like noticed Kakeru smile, but I never realized until now that there's actually sadness behind it, and that just is really sad. The realization on Naho where she's like, oh, I've always seen the smile, but it's only now that I realize there's so much sadness. And that was the episode. Overall, this episode was just a lot of feels. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely one of like the best episodes. Again, we adapted the 2 chapters into this 1 chapter. 9 and 10. I also really like how they straight up adapted some of the, like, the really silly faces that they use in the manga to the anime as well. But overall, guys, like, this episode was full of feels. We got a lot of Sua feels, and I like how it's told from future Sua's perspective, because it's not like Sua just like reading the letter, it's future Sua telling us his point of view, and I really enjoy that. And then of course we also got to see a lot of the guilt from future Naho as well. Actually, both of them, like a lot of guilt from both of them for not necessarily like selfish reasons exactly. Like Sua, he didn't really help them get together, but like at the time, like he didn't really realize what would happen, and I mean, you can't blame him. Like, it's not like he's gonna just go off and be like, yes, here, have my love of my life, you know? Naho, we see like she didn't end up giving Kakeru the chocolates, and she probably thinks that plays a huge part in like what would have happened if she had given him the chocolate. Like, both of them, you can see that like the regret is real, and like they have like these huge things that they wish they could have changed, but of course they can't. I love their little group so much. Like, it's so great. Azu and Taka are just adorable, and I love them, and they are so cool, and they certainly taught Ueda a lesson, and I was like, yes, yes, cheering them on so hard, because Ueda definitely needed that talking to and that slap. It didn't actually happen, but she used more psychological warfare type of thing, because a slap, Ueda would have been like, cry, cry, but she's like, I'm going to ruin your image, and it's like, oh snap, because you know, like, that's totally something that Ueda takes seriously. So in a sense, what she did was worse than a slap, if that makes sense. It just made me so happy when both Naho and Kakeru finally like admitted their feelings, and I really enjoy how they don't like rush it at all. Kakeru's like, take all the time you need, like you don't even need to answer me, and Naho's kind of like, I'm gonna think about this, and she knows she has her feelings, but she's not like just gonna rush in and say it right away, and she does save it for a pretty good moment, and it was a lot of feels that were said in that moment, and that whole scene is just such an emotional roller coaster, and they did it so well. Oh my gosh, but talking about future Sua though for a minute, they left this part out in the anime, but they had it in the manga, and it's when he's talking to past Sua, and he's talking about like the whole like, make sure you keep an eye out for Naho and Kakeru and to keep them together, and he talks like, yeah, it's gonna be tough watching the girl you like do this, and it's like, yeah, it is gonna be tough, and like, that's so sad. Just thinking about it, like watching the person you love someone else, and you like encourage that to be together, and you're just encouraging your love away. Like, it's so sad, but obviously it's for a good reason, but like still. Also as well, they didn't mention the whole soccer thing, because in the manga he's like, don't worry Sua, you have your soccer, it is always there for you, and I'm like, I need that little connection to soccer, Sua the soccer star. But yeah, I think they're doing a really amazing job of adapting it into the anime so far, and like, I can't even express to you how much of a wreck I will be by the end of this series, and I'm actually thinking I'm going to be doing some live reactions. I meant to actually do one for this one, or live reaction streams. I meant to do one for this one, but I totally forgot that I had planned to do that, so I might be doing them for the next one. If you guys want to see that, definitely comment down below, just so I know that people would actually watch. But guys, but yeah, again, I've been blabbering for too long, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked my review, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I make a bunch of videos a week, and bye!